Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. Today I've got a clip of Doug Ford absolutely ripping Justin Trudeau again. This is not the first time he's done this. He's at a large farm in Ontario, and he's brought together a whole bunch of different farmers from all over the region to talk about the carbon tax. This is filmed on April 2nd, just after the carbon tax was increased once again by 23% by Justin Trudeau, the man who doesn't care about climate change. See my main channel video when I talk about that, he basically admits he doesn't actually care about climate change. It's all about just collecting money from us. But then again, we already knew that. So let's jump into this clip here with Doug Ford.
I'm so thrilled to stand with you. I just wish I could say I was happy about what we're here to talk about today. Yesterday, on April the 1st, against the urging of premiers of every political stripe right across our country, the federal government raised the carbon tax yet again, this time by a whopping 23%. Today, the carbon tax now costs 17.6 cents per liter of gas. And just think of that, the people filling up. Every single time you see that clicker go, that 17.6 cents, that should be in your pocket, not the government's pocket. This isn't the first time they've raised their carbon tax, but it couldn't come at a worse time. Now, because of this awful carbon tax, families across Ontario spent their Easter weekends lined up around the block, waiting to fill their gas tanks up one more time before the increase kicked in. I saw it just down the street from where I live. People were lined up. Everywhere I went, people were lined up. What does that tell you? You know, folks, we have so many people here. I could fill this field, not with hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are against this carbon tax. I'm here today, we're all here today to make it clear. We stand against the carbon tax because we know Ontario families deserve to keep more money and their hard-earned money in their own pockets, not the government's, because we know Ontario businesses can't afford more costly burden. And at a time when the cost of living has never been higher, leaders at every single level of government, they have a duty. They have a duty to do everything we can to keep costs down for the hard-working people of Ontario. That's why, for months, I've been urging the federal government to scrap the carbon tax, and I got to crack that. It hasn't been months. I've been chasing them for years on this thing. And pause yesterday's increase. Not everyone can say they've done the same. For weeks, as the carbon tax hike loomed, Bonnie Crombie has refused to stand against it. Instead, she's dodged questions and desperately tried to change the subject, all while refusing to stand up for taxpayers. In fact, just last week, when given the opportunity to vote against the carbon tax, every single one of Bonnie Crombie's Liberal MPPs sat on their hands and did absolutely nothing. We shouldn't be surprised. Bonnie Crombie is the queen of carbon tax. As a Liberal MP, she was one of the first people in Canada to support the carbon tax. She led the carbon tax charge when she was in Ottawa. As mayor, she raised property taxes every year she was in office, including last year. She gave the largest tax increase in Mississauga's history. And as the Liberal leader, she refuses to stand up against the carbon tax. Ontario families, farmers, and small business owners, they deserve better. They deserve leaders who will stand up for them. They deserve a government that will fight to put more money back into their pockets. That's exactly what our government is doing. Last week, we extended our gas tax cut another 6 months, keeping 10.7 cents of every single liter back into your pockets instead of the government's. That's on top of eliminating road tolls and scrapping the license plate sticker fee. We're saving drivers hundreds of dollars every year, money that's going back into people's pockets where it belongs. And you can bet, as Bonnie Crombie, the queen of the carbon tax, remains silent, our government will never stop fighting the federal government on their terrible carbon tax. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
So that's his initial speech there, and later on they ask him questions, and that's when he just he starts ripping into Trudeau again. I mean, he said it numerous, like calling it the terrible carbon tax, etc. Now let's check out one of the questions at the end when he rips into Trudeau again.
Having heard that from the independent businesses, why are you passing a law to raise natural gas rates on not only small businesses, but everybody in Ontario so that you can keep the price of houses down slightly?
Well, we aren't passing any law to increase any taxes. I don't know where you're getting that from, but anyways, we will be working with our small businesses to keep all rates down and all taxes down. But let's cut to the chase. This carbon tax has to go, or in a year and a half, the Prime Minister's going. As simple as that. He will be going. I'll guarantee you, he will not be there. If he doesn't start looking after the people and the businesses of Ontario, the ideology they have is just beyond me. I do not understand it at all.
Morning, Premier Ford. My name is Joshua Santos. I'm with Newmarket today. You talked about just how there was people lining up for the gas over the weekend with the tax coming up.
Yeah.
Or them anticipating it. What do you think about this carbon tax essentially having an effect from gas to even grocery prices? Farmers are going to have to pass the price on to grocery stores.
Excellent question.
So what do you think about just some families that are already struggling to provide?
Yeah, what this does, we're trying to keep the inflation low across the country. Bank of Canada still have their interest rates hiked up there. They're saying, well, we got to reduce inflation. It went down to 2.9, then went down to 2.8, and all of a sudden this comes along. 30% of inflation is fuel and energy cost. It's going to affect every single product that gets put on a truck, and that's 99.9% of the products that travel across this province and this country. It's going to increase the packaging of the products. It's going to increase everything across the board. You know, every poll I've seen, no matter if it's a federal poll, provincial, municipal, number one issue, bar none, is affordability. Is affordable homes, affordable gas, and affordable groceries. And the gas is tied in to absolutely everything. And I called out the Bank of Canada. We have to start lowering these interest rates. You're going to end up killing people over the next year or 2 years when they renew their mortgages, and you're just gouging these people for no reason at all. We need to lower the interest rates, and we need to make sure that we get rid of this carbon tax. You know, we see our economy still strong considering the rest of the world. We've seen investments in EV of $28 billion. I figure another $30 billion of investments coming to our province because it's a safe haven of capitalism and making sure we support businesses that support the workers. I always say when companies do good, so do the teams that work within those companies do good. Everyone prospers and thrives and grow. So that's what we're going to do, continue focusing on bringing companies in, good paying jobs with bigger paychecks for the common hardworking people out there, and we will never stop working for the people. I'm very grateful for everyone for coming today. Let's keep the fight up, and we'll never, ever give up. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you.
Well said, Doug Ford. That's just it. You know, carbon tax is absolutely crushing this country. And what's interesting there, he brought up the mortgage renewals. I'll do another video on the main channel talking about this. But basically, Trudeau, I think back in 2001, said that the interest rates are at historic lows. He encouraged people to go out and buy houses, etc. And then what ended up happening, people bought houses, the interest rates skyrocketed. You have a bunch of people with mortgages that are locked in for 4 or 5 years. Well, if they bought in 2021, 2022, you get a whole bunch of people having the mortgage renewals in 2026, 2027. If we have outrageous interest rates when these people renew, then it's game over. You know, people's rates will go up, and this has already been happening right now, but the rates, say if you're paying $2,000 a month on your mortgage, then suddenly it's $3,500 a month, and people have to sell their house, or people default, people lose, you know, they go bankrupt. It's terrible. And what we really need is we need 30-year fixed mortgages in Canada, which they have in America. They don't have them here. The highest in Canada I've ever heard of is like a 10-year mortgage, a 10-year fixed rate. If you have 30-year fixed, then you know your payments are fixed for 30 years. Like technically, like you should be able to pay off the mortgage and you're good to go. Like over 30 years, you know what your payments are. This is a huge downfall in Canada's system. But anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think here about Doug Ford's words. He's on Canadian's side. He's doing what he can by reducing the gas to, as he said, 10.7 cents per liter or something off the gas, the provincial tax on gas to help people, even though Trudeau is dinging us for 17 cents. Got to keep fighting the fight until we get the corrupt Trudeau out of power. So thanks for stopping by and watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, my second channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.